Okay, welcome back. As I continue to slog through another round of slabs here as part of the not top 100 countdown, part two. This is going to be cards number 250 to, I guess, 201. And we're going to start out with, at 250, this Aaron Rodgers base tops rookie card. Like a lot of these, this thing went nuts a few years ago and since come back to earth. In fact, I updated this, and I mentioned last time, these are like as of September. So it may even be lower now because he's been hurt all year, unfortunately. But this one at the time checked in at like $300, I think it was in September. So Aaron Rodgers base rookie. And then this guy, he's got a lot of cards for sure. Here's an 87 Tiffany Ryan. Part of my Ryan run. Here's a popular low-cost Mickey Mantle card. 58 Topps All-Star. One of my early Mantle pickups, like real early, because it was so cheap. I think maybe $100 or so, well over 10 years ago, maybe more like 12 to 15 years ago. And today, I have this one coming in at around $300. So, I haven't seen a whole lot of movement in the last 10 plus years. So still a good value. This 58 Topps All-Star. Of course, I think it was like triple printed, which is why it could be had for a pretty good price because there's so many of them. Moses Malone, rookie, coming in at 247. I bought this, I want to say like 2015, 2016 timeframes to the tune of like $80. And then, it caught that wave, went up, came back down. And this one's also like a $300 card. Pretty undervalued, I think. But what do I know? Here's a modern issue. I bought this because I really liked the way this looked. This 2013 Topps Heritage Bryce Harper. This is a variation. I think the other card of his from this particular set is just a big head that fills the whole frame. I much prefer this one. I think it's short printed too. Bryce Harper. Barry Bonds coming in at 245, 86 Fleer update. Back when I did not believe in buying PSA 10s, like 20 years ago, I bought a 9 of that card. And I remember paying like $70 for it. Now it's not, it's like maybe a fraction of that in a 9. They're so widely available. Here's a nice Nolan Ryan card at 244, 79 Topps PSA 9. And this is when I transitioned from 8 to 9 for a period of time. I think I did it from 79, 80, 81, 82. Yeah, so I did a few years where I went to 9s and then 83 up. I went to 10 unless there was a Tiffany card. I stuck with a 9. In hindsight, I should just went straight 10 on the base. But anyways, nice looking card. Nolan Ryan. And this guy, Pete Alonso. 2016 Bowman Draft. Coming in at 243. Ricky Henderson, 83 Topps, PSA 10. Harder to come by 10s for these 80s Topps cards. I think I commented on Instagram about this. I mean, 83, we're talking 40 years ago now at this point. I mean, at what point did they actually become vintage, if ever? Base Jeter rookie, 93 Topps, coming in at 241. I think I got this card this year. I don't remember. I have to go back like maybe late last year. I don't know. But it's part of a, I'm kind of on the fence about doing a Pete Rose run. Because not unlike Nolan Ryan, he's got a ton of cards. And then he's got the manager cards. I mean, he's got 63 to what? 90, I think. But over the years, I've picked a few select cards that I've liked. This being one of them. 1972 Topps Pete Rose coming in at 240. Dan Marino, PSA 9. Probably a 4 sharp corners to pick up. There was a period of time from like 2017 to like 2019. I bought a lot of stuff from 4 sharp corners. A lot of 80s cards, a lot of fan favorite cards, and like 10s and 9s, cards like this. This might have been like $100 or so a few years back. And then I guess today we're looking at what? About $317 I have in here. Same as this card. I think I have these odd prices just so I could have a separation between cards that tend to all have the same value, and I don't want them all bunched in with the same exact price. So I might add $1 or $2 to what it really is. So here's an 85 Donruss Clemens. I'm sorry, Nolan Ryan. As part of that Ryan run I did, it was all Topps, but then I also went and I picked some of the Donruss and Fleer issues that I liked along the way. And that being one of them, because 85, I mentioned it previously, is my favorite 80s set. Here's a Ozzie Smith rookie. Centered's like okay. There's a little more border here on the left than on the right. Tough to find in high grade. I mean, 9s are exponentially more difficult to find, and the price reflects it. 8s are pretty common, 7s, that sort of thing. This one checks in at number 237. 236, Barry Bonds. I remember buying this at the lowest of the low points for this particular card. $52, like 2016-ish time frame, somewhere in there. Nowadays, we're looking at around what? We're looking at about $320 for this. So, classic card. Big card back then. Nice Bly-11 rookie. Went with a 7.5. My target grade for 70s were 8s, but I didn't want to spend $350 on the 8 for this for whatever reason. I wonder why I thought the way I did when I went about purchasing different cards, but anyway, I went with a 7.5. This was like $1.25 that I do remember. So much more palatable. And of course, I was in a much different financial situation too, 15 years ago than I am now. So anyway, still a nice card. And this is before he was elected to the Hall of Fame. Go there. That goes over here. Moving on, we have this just base Topps Chrome LeBron. Part of my Chrome LeBron run. I did it for LeBron, and I almost finished it with Kobe Bryant. I still need the 2009 in a PSA 9, and those have come down dramatically. You can get those for like $300 now. Here's James Worthy's rookie 86 Fleer classic set. Checks in at number 233. This was a card I know I got this year. Oh, can't get it out. I wanted like a really high grade version of this, and I missed out on a PSA 8. But it's probably trimmed, right? A card this old that's in a PSA 8 holder is probably trimmed. I mean, that's the cynic in me. But this 1.5 certainly has nice eye appeal. There's a crease here. You can see it, and hence the reason for such a low grade. But the centering is definitely excellent on this. And I just like this. Probably my favorite Diamond Stars card There's a few in there I like, but this one I like the most, and I wanted to have like a representative Diamond Stars in my collection. You'll probably see this one again if I do the end of year recap, because I'm pretty sure I got that this year. This was once a big card. Bowman's Best Tom Brady. And now, for me, it's checking in at 231 and around 325 bucks. I paid under 100 for it. I think it got as high as like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. It's just some ridiculous price. And of course, hindsight is 2020, and I think, well, gee, maybe I should have sold some of this stuff. But I almost wonder if, back then, people were allowed to return things like a year later. And they since changed that policy. But I almost wonder how many cards, got returned to the original owner like months after the fact. And then what do you do, some of these cards went for some really big money. And then I guess it was not as likely maybe in late 20 and then into early 2021, probably more likely from early 21 to later that year, because that's when things started to tank. Here's a Jordan, what's this, a third year 88 Fleer. And this is just a modest PSA 9. Another Jordan, 93 Topps Gold. I got this one and the 92. I think, did I show the 92 one already? I might have. I'm not sure why one is, I guess it just depends on what time of day, what day of the week, what week of the month. These can go, all over the place, but it's around 300 bucks or so. I had written in here $327 from September. So Michael Jordan Gold, check in at 229. Classic Gaudy 4-1 Yankees. And I always wonder what this card would be like if this was Ruth instead of Malone. What's this guy's name? Tom Malone. I forget who he was. But this is the year Ruth played for, was it Boston or Atlanta? So he's on that card, not this one. But you got Red Ruffing, Bill Dickey, Tony Lazzari, and Malone. On this 35 Gaudy 4-1. Checking in at 228, I believe. Yeah, this one. This is one of those old prices, right? Yeah, from May of last year. Probably doesn't belong here, but this is the red, numbered out of 5. And this is you see it's 5. This is the lowest graded copy from this particular rainbow. I've got all 9.5 and 10s on the rest. I don't have the super 1 of 1. I'm not even going to bother, but it was a fun little project I did. I did that, and then the subsequent year. Here's Tom Brady 2002 Topps Chrome. This is the weekly recap or whatever. So it's not his main one, which is card number 100. Just the base Topps Griffey from 1990. And it's got that old school cardboard for the most part. So this stuff can easily chip. Nice looking card, too. I mean, I just like the blues. You got the Rookie Cup Gold logo here. Nice picture of Ken Griffey. 1990. Got the snake. Kenny Stabler checking in at 224. And when did I buy this? Almost 2 years ago? I think early. Was it this year? Or was it like, I don't remember. I have to go back and look. But yeah, just a nice looking rookie card. Man, this guy threw a lot of interceptions. I mean, a lot of those quarterbacks from that era, from like Namath and Bradshaw and Stabler, if you look at some of their lifetimes, the number of picks these guys threw is ridiculous. Raiders are my favorite team. I much prefer the Oakland Raiders. I'm not so much a fan of the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't know. Something about them being in Oakland. Piazza, Fleer update. This might be his best rookie card. I could be wrong. I mean, he's got the Bowman, which is nice, but I think this one might have a little bit less of a print run. And he's checking in at $223, and I got him like $344-ish for the Piazza. Ken, I have only one. So I self-submitted this. I sent in 2 copies, and one got the elusive 10, which I couldn't tell the difference between the other one and this one, but one got a 10, one got the 9. So that was a nice little win. LeBron, Topps Collection. It was a variation, or it was a set that was released later in the season. Hence, he's featured in his uniform here. I went with a 9 because I guess I just didn't want to pay 10 prices at the time, which, probably weren't that significant nowadays when you look at it, because I think 10s might have been like $400. This was like $100 at the time. That kind of stands out. So when I bought his Chrome rookie, in 16, I think April of 2016, before he won his first championship, I remember paying like $160 for the 2003 Topps Chrome, and I remember 10s being like $700-ish, and I just don't want to spend that kind of money because I wasn't as much into the sports outside of baseball. Up to that point, it was primarily baseball, so I was just starting to get into like other sports like basketball and football, and anyway, I treaded lightly with some of them and went with like a lower grade. Here's this one was bought raw, and many years ago, like 20, I sent it to PSA. I got the dreaded minimum size requirement, which is so common with this particular card because it's cut short at the factory. But then I sent it in again and got the 8, and it definitely jiggles in the slab. I was happy to get it in the holder. Not knowing whether or not I'd be able to achieve a numerical grade for that card, I went ahead and I bought the 8.5 at some point prior to sending that in. And then, so now I have 2. And that was a huge card during COVID. Here's a nice vintage Reggie. Is this considered vintage? 77 Topps. One of my little tangents was a Reggie Jackson run featured in a Yankees uniform from Topps, and I went and did that from 77 to 82, and then I added the Burger King from 77 because I just liked the way that looked. It's a different image altogether. So here's an Elway rookie, 1984 Topps, and this one's checking in at 218. This was several $100s at one point. Probably close to a grand, maybe more than a grand. I paid like $259 for that one. I think that was that was a straight eBay. That wasn't 4 sharp corners. Anyway, moving on. Another Reggie. I really don't know how to value this card. I kind of just pulled a number out of my ass. They don't trade hands very often enough to even get it I think it's numbered. I think it's out of 50. Let's say it, but I think this one might be out of 50. From 2003 Topps Fan Favorites. This is the first year they had Fan Favorites cards. Just kind of like a daytime shot of his classic swing. Looks very similar to the regular 80 Topps base card, but I believe that's a night shot. I don't know. This one comes in. What did I do? Did I screw something up here? This one. I'll be right back. I know what I did. I pulled that from the wrong slot, so I'm not ready to show that one. I think it was. I just showed the. What was it? The Elway, the Jackson, the Jeter. So up next is this Mickey Mantle card, 1960 Topps. And this was given to me by my uncle when I was like in 7th or 8th grade. He had a stack of 1960 Topps cards. Included this one, had an Aaron, had a Mays, A lot of nice high grade commons. And yeah, the first time I sent this into PSA, the same sub where I originally sent my SPG to, and this one came back ungraded, and they pointed out something was colored in or something. I can't tell. And then I sent it in again, and I got the holder. So it came back with a miscut. I never really even noticed it, but clearly there's very little border. You hold it like this, it's a lot more obvious. But yeah, this is my first ever Mantle card. Later on, I did purchase this card in the PSA 7 when I was building out his run. But this one checks in at 217. And the PSA 5 miscut, I do price out as like a straight PSA 3. And so that being said, I put in like 360 for this card. Another Nolan Ryan. Nice 1980 tops. It's a nice looking card. It's a pretty common card. 82 tops traded Ripken. There's tons of these out there. 9s and 10s. This, I paid $200 for this. And nowadays, what are we looking at? We're looking at like $360-ish is the range. So it can be had very easily, and they're all over. So, but it's a popular card. It's his, I guess, preferred rookie card because he's featured, by himself, not with, two other guys. Jeter Bowman. I took a bath on this one, and I bought this pre-COVID too. I paid like $500 for this. I think I purchased this before the eventual Hall of Fame announcement. And so maybe there was some premium already baked in, but this card is nowhere near $500. This one is now like 360s-ish, 367, 368. But yeah, still a nice card. Good thing I'm not selling. It's a classic Clemente last year. 73 tops. It's a nice 8. Nicely centered. Of course, the traditional awful back centering, which pervades the 73 tops issue for baseball. It's a random Ernie Banks I picked up because I like the color combo, the aesthetic. Nice high grade. 7.5. Consider it high grade for vintage. And yeah, this one's like in the 360 something range as well, according to my September evaluation. Peyton Manning rookie, upper deck. I specifically was looking for a Manning rookie, and there was the tops issue, and I liked this one the best, so I went with it. Paid $1.25. I remember the guy wouldn't come down much, and his comment was like, "Hey man, a man's got to eat," or some stupid shit he was saying. I was like, "Whatever, pal." I paid him I think I paid it a little bit over market value at the time, so it was probably going for like less than $125. But, it was just a few nickels and dimes in the big picture. I figured, whatever, you could take it. I remember the comment being so stupid. That man's got to eat. Peyton Manning rookie. This is a really nice one. It's not very expensive, but it's just the value is in the really strong eye appeal. I got a lot of comments or a lot of feedback on Instagram about this one. I mean, it has a crease, and that's why it's a 2. I don't know if you can really see it. But the centering is outstanding. And I told a story where when I was specifically looking for this card, my budget was something that would have gotten me into like the 5-6 range at the time. But then when I saw that 2, I just had to have it. And I paid at the time PSA 3 pricing for it. It was like $3.25. when twos were typically going for like 2.25. But I figured I'll pay the upcharge to get that kind of eye appeal, because even now, it's just, you don't see that card centered all that well. Most of them are going to be off center to a certain degree. So here's probably one of my favorite cards in my collection, if not the favorite. I mean, it might be surprising to some, but I just love this. This is the era that I started collecting. This is a '05 Topps all-time fan favorites Tri-Signers card, done up with the '86 Topps League Leaders sort of background, featuring maybe the three biggest names of the '80s: Don Mattingly, Wade Boggs, and Dwight Gooden. And I got the 8.5 grade, and I'm not sure, the little nuances when it comes to grading autographs on cards, but I guess because Doc ran his line to the end, it kind of knocks the grade down, which seems kind of silly. But yeah, the 9 auto, that's what it was. It didn't get a 10 auto, got a 9 because I guess the line goes all the way to the border. Somebody explained that to me maybe in one of the videos I was talking about this. But just a super card, numbered to 50. And yeah, easily one of my favorite, if not the favorite card in my collection. Random Jordan. I buy random basketball here and there. Here's a finest. And I actually preferred the ones that did not have the coating. And I think the coating, it adds value, but I think it makes the card look ugly. And so when I was buying, and I got the 94 and the 95, just the base, not the refractor. I didn't swim in that pool. But yeah, this one I sought out without the coating, and I just, it's a nice looking card. The 94 is popular because it features him. I think it's the only card that features him wearing number 45. That's kind of a thing. Yeah, so this card checks in at number 208, I guess, for me. Just this is definitely a 4 Sharp Corners purchase, because they had these types of cards all day, every day. I'm not sure. I haven't checked in a long time, but man, they had so many of the mid to late 80s, early 90s, fan favorite cards like in high grade like this. And so I bought a ton, this being one of them. Donruss rookies Bo Jackson, which I guess surprisingly has a higher value than the base Donruss. Or am I mistaken? I don't think I have the base. I like this one better. This came cellophane wrapped, tightly in a little box. And so that might have something to do with the condition sensitivity of these things, and, how high a grade, how often you might see a 10. I don't know what the pop report is on that, but that's the Bo Jackson coming in at 207. And where are we at now? We're up here. George Brett. I grabbed this, the Rose, the Jackson, the Carew. Who am I missing? I feel like I got one, the Fisk. Yeah, I like these. I got them in, I think I got them all in 9s. So this is a third-year Brett, 1977 Topps. It's a pretty nice card too. 73 again. Nice centering on the front. Total craptastic on the back. But it's just a great card. You got Ruth, Aaron, and Mays here on this leaders card. This is like 100, maybe 120, 140 bucks, whenever it was I bought it. And so this one checks in at 205 for me. And I put it at I have 387 in here. So probably somewhere in there. Still a great card. And I mean, honestly, it's still pretty affordable, even at that price, I think, for what you get. 1973, 50 years ago. My God. Stan Musial. So in 2006 and in 2007, for 2 consecutive years, I picked up 4 hobby boxes of Topps Heritage. And I still have the cards sitting in the long box, or whatever you call them. Never put together the set. Just didn't want to go after all the SPs. But this probably is, I don't open a lot of stuff. Probably the best pack pull of anything in my pack pulling history with sports cards was this Musial, and I think it was the best autograph in that set that year. I mean, you can get the red auto, but as far as I think he was the top tier signer from that particular Heritage set. Now I know there was a number to 2, a cut auto of Mickey Mantle from Heritage that year. I don't know if one has ever surfaced, but that would be something to see. I've never seen one for sale anywhere, but there was a number to 2, I believe, cut auto of Mickey Mantle from this particular Heritage set. Anyway, Stan Musial, and I think I kind of, again, just sort of, I don't know, got this, I priced it based on the value of other autograph cards of his, maybe in Heritage. I have a note here. It says not in VCP. This is May of last year. This is the date on this one. I have 389. Yeah, that could be way off, but that's the best I can do. 74 Reggie and an 8.5. Coming in number 203. I paid less than $100 for this. And you don't see a lot of 8.5s. You just don't. You don't even see a lot of 9s for that matter. So it's hard to get a reference point to work with when I have the price of an 8. I need the price of a 9 to work with something. So anyway, I have this like just under $400 also, because I just, kind of extrapolated that. And then this one coming in at 202. I guess 202, right? This Fleer, I just like the design, the style, this retro Jordan. I mean, I don't know how I learned about it. Maybe it's like somebody had it somewhere in a YouTube video, or maybe I just came across it in my search for Jordan cards. But I like this retro design. I have the LeBron also, but did not make the cut. At least this far up the list. This is a nice, again, 2007 87 retro Jordan card, and then that leaves as card number 201. Looks like this 84 Topps Nolan Ryan base card in a 10. And so with 84, I bought the base and the Tiffany. I got this in a 10, and I bought the Tiffany in a 9. But in 85, I went Tiffany 9. In 86, I went Tiffany 9 because 86 Tiffany 10 or base, it was just impossible. So really expensive. And it was not unlike when I was building that Henderson or trying to. I don't want to spend that kind of money for like a mid-80s random Ryan card just because it had like the scarcity of the grade just, wasn't very common. So I settled on 9 Tiffany's for 85 and 86 Topps, and then went back to the 10 from 87 to 91. But anyway, this is 84 base. And mentioned earlier in the video, in hindsight, for 85, I wish I had gotten the 85 in a 10 and not the Tiffany in a 9. But so be it. And that will do it. That'll wrap up the Not My Top 100 countdown. Maybe I could do 500 to 401 one of these days, but that'd probably be very interesting. Anyway, that'll do it. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.